Welcome everyone. Hope you all are doing fine. Now, let us start. The first novel we have, All My Disciples Suck, written by Rotating Hot Pot. It is an ongoing novel and my rating for this novel will be 7. Its synopsis is as follows. After 4 years, He Yiming finally became a sect master, activated the sect system, and received sign and rewards. The system summoned the souls of humans from Earth, reshaped their bodies, and made them disciples of the sect. With that, the sect's style of operation drastically changed. Even though they couldn't even kill the monsters in the novice village head, they just had to do a suicide attack to defeat it. That, and a whole lot of shenanigans as they innovate the world of cultivation. On to the next novel, we have Being Blind for 5 years, All My Disciples Became Forbidden Curse Mages, written by Forest of Elves. It is an ongoing novel and my rating for this novel will be 6. Its synopsis is as follows. #blind Fang Ping was blind. By chance, he transmigrated to another world. Upon his arrival, he was ambushed by a ferocious beast. Fortunately for him, he was rescued by a woman. After being saved, he discovered that this world also used English. However, to his surprise, the denizens of this world had proficiency below that of a kindergartner from his world. Yet alone say an entire sentence, they even fumbled about pronouncing single words. Coincidentally, he awakened the master-teacher system. In order to repay them for saving his life, he decided to stay and teach them English. He began by teaching them to recognize the alphabet and then phonetics and finally began to teach them vocabulary. However, Fang Ping was unaware that his students were abnormal. They were the famous Night Elves, and the person who had saved him was the next queen of the Night Elves clan. She was the daughter of the current queen. The English that he was teaching was the vocabulary of this world's magic spells. Hence, the weak Night Elves began mastering magic spells and their forces grew powerful once again. 5 years later, Fang Ping opened his eyes. He looked at the people of all races kneeling before him. It was as though a whole country had come to the royal court. There were giants, dwarfs, fox demons, etc. Beside him, the sexy, stunning queen of the Night Elves was looking at him with a worshipping gaze. Fang Ping finally realized that he had taught them some incredible things. On to the next novel, we have Cultivating Disciples to Breakthrough, written by Purple Spring. It is an ongoing novel and my rating for this novel will be 8. Its synopsis is as follows. Inside a quiet pavilion located inside one of the Heavenly Sky Kingdom's 4 largest cultivation sects, a young man slowly opened his eyes with a helpless expression as he gazed down towards the fog located at the base of the mountain that the pavilion was located on top of. Not only was he the youngest core elder in the history of a large cultivation sect, but he was also someone who had transmigrated over with a system. The system in question wanted him to train up disciples and in turn help him get stronger. But there was one major problem in all of this. He didn't have any disciples. Ding tilde. On to the next novel, we have Disciple Cashback System. I Got Exposed by My Disciple, written by 3 Golden Crow. It is an ongoing novel and my rating for this novel will be 6. Its synopsis is as follows. Yi Zan was transmigrated to the Qingyun sect and became the youngest elder. At the same time, he had also received the 10,000x disciple cashback system. From a young maid to a previous noble lady and the demonic empress, he accepted all of them as his disciples. No matter what he gifted and taught his disciples, he would receive the same thing back in 10000 folds. Ding! You have given your disciple a low-grade nirvana pill. You have been rewarded with the heaven path pill. Ding! You have given your disciple the sky-blazing sword. You have been rewarded with the ancient divine sword, God Slayer. Ding! Your disciple's cultivation has increased by a year. You have been rewarded with 10,000 years worth of cultivation. Yi Zan continued to accept more disciples until one day, one of his disciples, the Empress, exposed his identity. It was then that the world learned of a person who was the strongest. On to the next novel, we have I Am Such an Expert. Why do I have to take in disciples written by wood easily starts fires. It is an ongoing novel and my rating for this novel will be 8. Its synopsis is as follows. After Lu Xiaoran transmigrated to a world of cultivation, his trashy system never got activated. Helpless, Lu Xiaoran could only depend on himself and develop his cultivation while maintaining a low profile. It was only after Lu Xiaoran became the strongest existence in the sect did the system finally get activated. Unexpectedly, this was a system that allowed him to increase his own cultivation by taking in disciples and helping them cultivate. All he had to do now was to find his first disciple. On to the next novel, we have The Daily Task of Preventing My Disciple from Turning to the Dark Side, written by He Mao Ni. It is an ongoing novel and my rating for this novel will be 7. Its synopsis is as follows. As the #1 pill alchemist of the immortal world, Mu Chen had always believed that it was because he had single-mindedly focused on concocting pills that led to him to neglect disciplining his disciple, which in turn caused his disciple to be led astray by the seduction of devil cultivation, leading to the 3 realms to fall to disaster. After his rebirth, Mu Chen resolved to properly teach his disciple, give him the very best resources, earnestly love him, carry him close to his heart, teach him by way of example, and didn't let him grow corrupt. Sure enough, his disciple became more and more intimate. Every day his disciple even crawled into his bed, rubbing against his chest and clinging to his thigh. It was just that his expression isn't exactly quite right. On to the next novel, we have Secret Society, Raising Calamity Class Disciples SecSy, written by the Daydreamist. It is an ongoing novel and my rating for this novel will be 9. Its synopsis is as follows. Pendulum clocks replaced sand glasses. The world's first pocket watch ticked through its 100th year. Steam power welcomed the advent of machinery. Industries took over farmlands. The study of science brought humankind out of the clutches of superstitions and pushed them to a path of endless possibilities. And one man witnessed it all. He was a moth among mayflies, fluttering through as generations replaced generations fueled by an endless thirst for knowledge. But fate decided to introduce him to a butterfly, someone alike, yet so different. Follow the actor, Xavier Godwin, and the seeress, Yu Lin, as they delve into the world hidden from the common eyes, a world of magic and mysticism, as they evade the sights of countless hidden organizations and create a secret society of their own. On to the next novel, we have My Disciples Are All Villains, written by MSRZP. It is an ongoing novel and my rating for this novel will be 9. Its synopsis is as follows. Lu Zhou wakes up to become the world's most powerful and oldest villainous patriarch, and finds that he has 9 notorious disciples who are full of evil. His eldest disciple is the leader of the Nether sect with thousands of minions, and his second disciple, Sword Devil, always slaughters others at the slightest disagreement. Without his cultivation base, how will he handle these evil disciples? His eldest disciple, Yu Zhengai, said, I've never had a rival in my life, and no one but Master can make me bow my head. His 7th disciple, Si Wuya, said, we can't eat or sleep in peace as long as the Master is not dead. His 9th disciple, Yuaner, said, I'll remember what Master said and be a good person. On to the next novel, we have Origin Court, Accepting Disciples with a System, written by The Fire Speaks. It is an ongoing novel and my rating for this novel will be 9. Its synopsis is as follows. Yan Lujia, a sought-after, handsome, sports-driven, and seemingly perfect man with an outstanding family background, was killed in a plane bombing orchestrated by his so-called pals. Before he even knew it, his soul traveled through space, and his supposed-to-be ending unexpectedly took turns. Unknowingly, he set foot into a world made up of 5 realms where strength matters most. Then, one day, following a mission, he started accepting disciples. Ding! The system has discovered an S-class genius. System's 5th ability unlocked. Disciple acknowledgement. New mission. Recruit and acknowledge the Holy Flood Empire's S-class genius. The reward will be issued upon acknowledgement from both parties. On to the next novel, we have Xianxia. My Disciples Are Insane. Written by Baby Rush. It is an ongoing novel, and my rating for this novel will be 7. Its synopsis is as follows. After transmigrating through 10 years and silently registering his name at the Xianmen for 10 years, the system finally issued Yi Chang his first task, to take in some disciples. Disciple 1. A very ordinary mortal who carries an axe every day, cutting down trees, carrying water, and usually eats ordinary food. A few years later, Disciple 1 left the mountain and destroyed the sky and earth as well as shattered the heavens with a slash of his axe. Disciple 2. Born evil and with the appearance of a young emperor, he once traveled through the central region and suppressed the younger generation, with no one being of match for him. Disciple 3. The reincarnation of an empress. In her previous life, she had fought in a bloody battle to the ends of the heavens and had seen the other shore. In this lifetime within the kniown secret realm, Yi Chang's cultivation had reached a point where he has overcome all worldly thoughts and attained sainthood. As a teacher, I won't be lax any longer. From today on, in the eastern region, I'll have the final say. Thousands of years later, his disciples left the eastern region one after another. They were so powerful that they shook the mountains and rivers. Yi Chang sat on the hill alone and played the piano as he sighed, "My disciples are insane." On to the next novel, we have My Disciple Died Yet Again, written by Mrs. Ago. It is a completed novel, and my rating for this novel will be 9. Its synopsis is as follows. Game designer Zhu Yao accidentally gets transmigrated into a new Xianxia VR game that is currently in development. There she becomes the disciple of the most beautiful male immortal Yu Yan, who had to wait 16,000 years before finally getting a disciple of his own. Yu Yan carefully teaches Zhu Yao and cherishes her a lot. But when Zhu Yao finally begins to understand some of his teachings, she suddenly dies. Yu Yan then gets a new disciple, the reborn Zhu Yao, and she dies again. He then gets another disciple, and she dies once again. That's the end of this video. I will see you soon in the next video. Happy reading.